Hi there, everybody. My name is Simon Callaghan. I am the Director of Fundraising Appointments for a recruitment company called Peridot Partners. Essentially, that means that I'm in charge of recruiting for a range of different fundraising roles for organisations that have a social impact. So that includes charities, not-for-profit organisations, membership bodies. We do a lot of work with universities and higher education as well. Um, I got into my job. In many ways, I kind of fell into it. I think in some respects, I was living in London and went along for a few interviews with various recruitment companies, and and actually got on very well with a lady who turned out to be my boss. And from there, that was 13 years ago now, and I've built a career from there. I moved to Peridot Partners about 7 or 8 years ago now, and was made a partner and shareholder in the company about 5 years ago. A typical day for me is quite varied. We do a lot of what we would call sort of client-facing work, so lots of networking and meeting with charities, meeting with individuals, so people that we would refer to as candidates, those that are looking for a job and keen to register their interest for the recruitment that we're doing. As part of our senior leadership team, I spend a lot of time working with my fellow business partners on lots of different aspects of running the company, the finances, working with our marketing team, supporting other colleagues on pieces of work, supporting their professional development, sharing ideas, that kind of thing. So, it's quite a varied role. There's a requirement for sort of key skills that I'll come on to in a bit. In terms of what's the most memorable moment of my career, there's been a few. I'd probably say we did a lot of work with a charity called the International Rescue Committee, and a couple of years ago, the team that I supported them to recruit won the Institute of Fundraising's Best Fundraising Team of the Year, which was a really special thing to see, the impact that team had being recognised externally. So that was awesome. We've also done a huge amount of work with the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity, who are in the process of delivering a capital appeal, which is essentially a fundraiser for a new cancer centre in Surrey, and we recruited a number of key members of the team to deliver that project. It was initially meant to be a £50 million appeal, but the success of the team has had has created a bigger target, actually 70 million now. So those are two very memorable highlights, and also, I guess, on a personal level as well, being made a partner at Peridot Partners was a hugely memorable moment. Worst part of my job is letting people down when they haven't secured a role that they've applied for, I would say. It's always an awful thing to have to do when someone's got their heart set on something. To let them know that they've been unsuccessful is not much fun. The best part of the job, I suppose, on the flip side of that, is sharing good news with people when they have secured a role. I also really like just meeting people and understanding their motivations, understanding the impact that they've had with the organisations they've worked for, and what they're looking to do next, and just hearing a little bit about their life and their story and their values, and all of these things. It's fascinating dealing with a huge variety of different stakeholders. In terms of skills and attributes needed for the role, I would say You have to be very organised. You have to be very detail focused. I think in our job, what separates good from great is caring about detail, and being good at detail, and seeing that it matters. You know, clearly as your experience grows, you can adapt your style and methods of doing things, but ultimately detail is what separates good from great. I'd say quite a bit of tenacity as well. Not everything will play out the way that you had hoped it might, all of the time, and you know, it's a people-focused business, so clearly people will perhaps at times do things that you might not be expecting them to do, or wanting them to do. So you know, you need to have a thick skin to be able to sort of handle that. And then if I were to give somebody any advice on looking to get into a similar role, I would say be authentic, be yourself. People like authenticity. They like a genuine, honest approach, and I think that's often lacking in the recruitment industry. And you can separate yourself quite easily from other businesses by just being a genuine, honest, decent person, hopefully, and I would not deviate from that. If you're looking to gain experience and so forth, then you know there will be recruitment companies that would offer potentially some training and some on-the-job training opportunities, some either some paid volunteering, so forth. There's relevant industry magazines that you can read and get into, that would give you insight into some of the larger businesses. It's always a good place to start to develop your skills and experience, I'd say, in a large recruitment company, and really learn the ropes there, and then take those skills perhaps to a smaller company. That's very much the route that I took, and it served me well, and I know quite a few other people that have gone down that route as well.